Hey guys, it's Ry right here. Today I have a Battlefield 4 launch impressions video for you. This is basically just going to be my quick little impressions about playing Battlefield here the first couple days. It's not an in-depth review. I haven't progressed far enough in the multiplayer at this point to go ahead and give you a full review on it, because I know once the community out there starts to, get into the weapons and get into the unlocks and those different things, it's going to feel and play like a different game once the community starts getting those unlocks. So right now it is going to play different. I know that. I'm playing on the 360 on the console, so I want to give you kind of a console-centric impressions video here. I know a lot of the PC guys out there have been doing that. I wanted to go ahead and give you kind of my 2 cents on it. Now again, it's on console. The graphics are not on par. I've heard some people out there complaining about the graphics. Guys, if you're really worried about graphics at this point, why are you playing on an Xbox 360 or a PS3? You should probably have a PC, a high-end PC that plays high-end games with high-end graphics, because that's where it's at if you're worried about graphics. Even on these next consoles, the new consoles that come out, the Xbox One and the PS4, you realize that within 6 months to a year after those are out, the graphical capabilities are going to be surpassed by PCs at that time. At the rate that technology increases and PCs keep increasing along with it, the graphics on the PC are always going to outdo any console you ever get. So even if you're getting a next-gen console, the graphics at some point of those are going to be outpaced by the PC. So graphics, I'm not worried about. I'm more worried about gameplay and how it plays. That being said, the graphics on this aren't that bad. Yeah, it's not the best looking game on the consoles, but for what the consoles have to work with, DICE did a good job. It looks perfectly serviceable. It looks perfectly fine. I don't see to where it's really a huge detriment to the gameplay, and it's definitely not something that's going to stop me from playing, or even really complaining about it for that matter. Now, there are some typical launch issues. It's a big game, guys. Big games like this that have all this development and all this scale of it, have more launch issues and more things like that than other games, especially when you talk about multiplayer stuff. So you get things like glitches here and there. There's the occasional crashes and freezes. I've had all those happen to myself. Issues getting into game with friends. I understand all that's frustrating. Give them time, guys. DICE has always been good at fixing their games and patching them and giving plenty of support to them. We saw it with Battlefield 3, which I think even had a rougher launch than this. I remember Battlefield 3 having trouble even getting into games at sometimes. This one, I can still get into a game, play it for a while, and it seems to kind of, be okay. I don't have too many problems with it. The occasional crash and freeze here, the glitches will pop up, but those get fixed along the way. Now, on to some of my major concerns. I do have some major concerns with, on the console side, how you get into a game. You really can't get into a game with friends. There's no home menu party system like they had in Battlefield 3. So I can't join in a game with my friends unless they're already in a game and I join on them, hope there's room to get in, and I didn't join in, send me another invite. Makes it really difficult. They had it in Battlefield 3. They don't have it in Battlefield 4, and that's kind of disconcerting in that, I know the PC guys, you can usually join in through Battlelog. We don't have that on the console side. So I'd like to see them fix that, get that on the console side. Also, there's no loadout screen in the My Soldier menu where you were able to go in and change your gun and change your gear and change your vehicle loadouts and all these different things. You can't do that in-game unless you go into an actual game and you're in a play session. Or you can do it, on Battlelog through your PC smartphone. However, a lot of people don't want to just have to worry about going to a separate device there. They just want to play the game, do it all right there on their big screen, and not worry about going into a separate menu. Now, again, some people say, well, you can go into the test, area to do that. And yeah, you can if you want to spend the time to do that, but or you just go into a game with your friends and play. But if you're in a game and you're spending 5-10 minutes messing with your loadout, you're not actually helping your team, and that's disconcerting. So a lot of times, guys, and I know I used to do it with Battlefield 3, a lot of times guys just like to sit in the menu, really tweak stuff, look at the descriptions, mess with it, find that perfect balance for them and that perfect loadout for them, and just spend time doing that without having to worry about getting into the game or doing it through something else. I like being able to do it through Battlelog and on my smartphone, and I'll sit there on my smartphone just while I'm watching a baseball game or a football game or something like that. I'll sit there and mess around with it. It's pretty cool doing that. However, not having the option to do it just when you get into the menu, I think is something that DICE needs to address and put in there. Now, let's go ahead and talk about some other things. The controller schemes, I've heard people complain about not having a Battlefield 3 style controller scheme, and DICE put it in there with the veteran setting. I've used it. I think it works great. I don't know what you guys are complaining about. Sure, maybe there's a button or two that's different here or there. Get used to it. I mean, really, DICE has given us plenty of options for controller schemes on our control pads and on our controllers. There's no reason why you should have to, oh, we need fully mappable controllers or nothing's good at all, or they don't have anything, that they don't have the control scheme I want. You know what? They give us plenty of control schemes, legacy control schemes, lefty southpaw, or legacy southpaw and veteran and default, all these different control schemes. If you can't find one with all the different variances they have out there, then maybe you should maybe this just isn't your game if you're going to complain about something as trivial as a control scheme. When I first started playing Battlefield, it didn't really have control schemes that I was used to, but I got used to it and was able to play it and did fine. So if you don't have a control scheme that is your particular control scheme, learn one, because there's plenty of options. Mess around, find one, and learn one. Another thing I've heard a lot of people on the forums talk about is the bullet loss from reloading, which I particularly love. I think it's more realistic. It forces you to play more tactically and remember not to just automatically, I shot a guy with 5 bullets, let me reload. And it gives more importance, honestly, to having a support class in your squad. I think ultimately that's probably the real reason why DICE did this, is it gives more importance to having that player in the squad, in the team, that can throw down ammo for you. And that is important to have. If you have somebody like that you're rolling within your squad, you're communicating with them, go ahead and reload all you want, because he can drop a box for you and you can get that ammo back. The fact that people are just saying, oh, it's it's something that's really bothering them and they don't like it and they want us DICE to fix it or patch it, I think it's ridiculous. DICE, don't patch it, don't fix it. I'd love for you to just keep it the way it is. I just think these people aren't used to it because they've never played a game that has this mechanic in it. There has not been a modern online first-person shooter where you have to worry about your ammo count. But it makes sense. If you have a 30 rounds in the clip and you shoot 5 and there's 25 rounds in the clip and you throw those rounds away on the ground in the clip, then bye-bye ammo. There it goes. Your neck, it should work that way. That's how it would work realistically, and DICE does this to kind of not only make it a little more realistic, but also give some credence to having a support class and making you think a little more tactically. I love it. Keep it in there. Same with the perk system. I've heard a lot of people complain about the new perk system, and I think it's just because, again, it's new. Guys don't like having to work in a squad or play or level that perk system up, or if you see that last man in squad worried about staying alive. I think it's great. I think the perk system works well. The leveling with it, I think it's a new thing on it, and I think that it's good to have a different perks that maybe I like to run. Maybe I like to run more as a medic, and so I have the medic perks, and you like to run more as a shadow perks or something like that. That I like, that it gives you that difference in it, just something else to unlock and give difference to. I kind of like it. I think they should keep it in there. Now on to some of the stuff I really like. I love the maps in this game. Battlefield 4's maps are excellently done, even on the smaller console versions of the maps. It just feels like they really thought well, or took a really good thought process into these maps, making them balanced. Now, Battlefield to me has always been kind of a war zone playground, where if you want to drive a tank, you can drive a tank. You want to fly a helicopter, you fly a helicopter. Now, if you want to get into an attack boat and go on the water, you can do that. And these maps seem to really kind of play into that variance with that variance in mind. They're kind of built around that. It's a lot of fun to be able to go in there, whether you want to go air, ground, water, infantry, vehicles, whatever. They seem to fit the gameplay dynamics well, these maps do. There seems to be more verticality to them, more flanking options now. And also, the different gameplay modes now carry a lot across to all different maps. For example, Domination, where in Battlefield 3 you only had the 4 Domination maps you can play. Now Domination carries across to all maps, which I think is a great idea. Gives you different ways to play. I haven't even played all the game modes yet. I still haven't touched Rush, haven't got into the squad deathmatch, things like that. I plan on playing those more, and it gives me just, more things to do, more replayability in the game. I love the Levolution. I think having Levolution on all these different vehicles or different maps is great as well. I love seeing what's going to happen next in the map. I think that's a great idea too. Now the vehicles, I think the vehicles are really cool. I love the more unlocks. Someone said, oh wow, they're giving you all the good stuff. You got the zoom right away, and you got flares right away, and you got all these different things right off the bat. And I said, yeah, well, it's because now you get so many more unlocks per game. I think that's a great thing to have. All these extra unlocks now that you can unlock, and it's going to be real neat as we unlock them as a community to see how they play out and change the gameplay, and how that rock paper scissors thing DICE likes to talk about is affected by the different unlocks and the different kits people are running. I think it's great. I like it. I like that they did this. I like they included the boats, and they have these new boats, the attack boats that are like tanks on the water. I had a ton of fun playing with those. I just think there's a lot more variety now within the vehicles and with how you can play them. I like how the reloading kind of mindset of watching your reloads, watching your inventory of ammo comes into play in the vehicles. If you just go around spamming that fire button and you run out of ammo, well, you're gonna have to wait a while for it to reload into your inventory, and you're kind of vulnerable. I like that. It gives that same type of tactical feel that you have when you're reloading ammo to the vehicles now. I think it's a great idea. I'm glad DICE did it. And as far as the weapons, I think same thing. Having all these multiple unlocks now, the new lean function works really well. I think that's a great idea. It's not something that's a game breaker. I was worried that it might be a game changer when they first announced it. After playing the beta and now playing in the real game, I see no, it's not something that's going to be abused. It's something that really is going to work well within the game, especially if you're doing something like defending a flag or something like that. You can get yourself into a good position to get kills and be less exposed. Another thing I like about this game, guys, it seems like that level of destructibility is back. I don't want to say completely back like it was in Bad Company 2, but definitely it's back in a big way, where now you have completely destructible buildings that you can completely take out on some of these maps. I know Battlefield 3 had some of them, but I know a lot of players thought when Battlefield 3 was released, it felt like a lot of that was lost in Battlefield 3, and the destructibility just quite wasn't there. It does feel like it's a little bit more ramped up in this game. Again, I've only played a little bit of it here, a couple hours or so. I'm up to about level 11, so I don't know for sure, comparatively speaking, if it's that way, but it does feel that I'm able to take more buildings out with the tanks and do things like that. So I like that that's back as well. Well, guys, that's all for this impressions video. Please be sure to hit like and subscribe and leave any comments. I love hearing your feedback. And until next time, this is Rai. Take care.